I worked mornings at this station, which was in the early 2000s. Paul, life advice for Paul. Paul, just say they're going to win. It's all they do is win. So
I can make a prediction for tonight. They will not win tonight.
Anybody asks you, they're going to win. Paul Hamilton on the Western Hotline. Paul, how much more fun is your job right now than it was 2 months ago?
It's different. I mean, which is nice because for 14 years it pretty much was the same. I mean, I can't tell you how many players just looked at me like, "What do you want me to say?"
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I kind of look back like, "What do you want me to ask?" It's the same thing.
Yeah,
we're watching the same record playing every single night. And it rarely changes. You know, the odd night that it did change and they actually did do what they were supposed to do, it was like, yay, and now we get to ask different questions for one game.
Yep.
And then it would go back to it. So, you know, that's the thing, that now it makes things more interesting. There's more topics. There's more things to talk about, like Rasmus Dahlin in Toronto. You know, it's like, well, how do you feel now that you're being chased? He started laughing. He goes, I don't know. It's a first for me because I've never done this before. It's kind of fun, you know, stuff like that.
Yep.
Where we never could ask that question before.
So I assume you were standing around Alex Tuch last night. I didn't notice your mic flag, and I didn't check with you about this when we settled on this time for your appearance today. How did him saying what he said about competing for the Cup land on you? How did it land in the room? Because there were a number of reporters gathered around him when he said it.
Yeah, it didn't surprise me. I mean, Alex Tuch is a leader, and it just takes me – we've discussed this before even we heard that it's to a point now where Alex Tuch is a big part of that room. You can't take him out of the room this year. You just can't. And I think Jarmo Kekalainen knows that. I mean, you look at what he did when he was in Columbus. You know, he would be bold, and – I think he understands that. I think it would be devastating to this team if, let's say, for example, Alex Tuch came and said, you know what, I'm not going to sign with the Sabres. I'm going to free agency. And I think the Sabres need to and probably would say, okay, and not trade him. I mean, you would get a good haul for him, but it would be mostly draft picks and guys who are in development, and that's not what they need right now. They don't need that. They have enough of that stuff. So you're better off if that were to happen, and I have no indication it would. I'm just using it as an example, to just, all right, now he becomes a Sabre rental instead of a rental you just traded for from the New Jersey Devils. And, you know, you go as far as you can with him, and at the end of the season, if he doesn't sign, and he leaves for free. So what? I mean, that's what this team needs right now. And I just don't see any scenario where you're going to trade him off this team.
That I was feeling that way. I don't think we've really talked about it in a while. But I've been feeling that way since they got hot, since they got into a playoff position, that, you know, it's just going to be very difficult for them to pull off trading him away for futures. And so even before he said what he said last night, I was of the mind that, and I know Kekalainen, you know, all we can do is judge someone by their track record. He hasn't really done anything major since he's been here other than watch this team just win like crazy since he took over, and really right before he took over, right? Because the first 3 games of that win streak were before Kevin Adams was fired. But he did 1 year in Columbus, keep Panarin, keep Bobrovsky, walk them right up to free agency, and they both left. And, you know, you could say that was, mismanagement, but he bet on we as an organization need to, see this through, and the value of you staying here and helping us do this outweighs whatever futures we would get for you. And that's exactly where I think they were with Tuch. Now that he said what he said, he's the guy whose name is on, we think we can win the Cup. Not that he said exactly that, but we're trying to win the Cup, right? We're not just trying to squeeze in. We're trying to win the Cup. Mm-hmm. The optics of moving him for, some 19-year-old guy from the Western League. I mean, you just can't do it now.
Well, yeah, and as you mentioned, you and I have talked about this way before Tuck said it. I mean, I felt this way for a while. You can't take him out of the room. He's too big of a leader. He means too much to the team. He's a big part of why they're winning. He's not the reason, but he's just one of the cogs that, I mean, I watch him during the game probably 3 times. I say to myself as he takes the puck away from an unsuspecting player, it's like nobody else does that. Very few in the league do that. He is, if not one of the best, if not the best at doing that, and he quickly turns it into offense the other way. I mean, that is extremely valuable. He is a top penalty killer. He and McLeod are a dynamite pair, and not only do they kill the penalty, they add some offense to the penalty kill too, which is key. And they work in sync together. Now he's gotten red hot. He's back on a pace that would score him 35 goals. With the heater he's on right now, I believe it's 11 goals in his last 18 games. And I just think he's too valuable for with those different things that he does. Yeah, that's correct. 11 goals in 18 games.
Right.
So it just, unless you don't think they can make the playoffs as the GM, and I have no indication whatsoever that he thinks that. As a matter of fact, he has said he thinks that they can make the playoffs, and there's no question in his mind. And so far, they have backed up his words.
Yeah. Did any part of you, when you heard and saw Tuch say that last night about, trying to win the cup, think maybe an extension's close? Like, is he, I don't think, and in no way am I saying he's trying to turn the pressure up on getting an extension done, but it is sort of a long-range view type thing for a guy to say that. Certainly doesn't sound like a guy who's got one foot out the door, I guess, is what I would how I would want to put it.
Well, he has maintained, and I have no reason to doubt him, that he's not involved. I mean, he said every now and then his agent updates him, but he's not a daily thing or anything like that. He says that is his agent's job to do that. His job is to be the best teammate, best father, best husband that he can be. And when he needs to be updated, he'll be updated. But he wants to play hockey right now. He doesn't want to be bothered with that stuff. That's for his agent to be bothered with. So, and I think the way he's acting, the way he's talking backs up what he's saying. That, that's business, and that'll be taken care of however it's taken care of. I have hockey to worry about right now.
Yeah. What do you think if they, so we agree, obviously, here, and have for a while, even though we didn't say it to one another, that he's not getting moved here. But the trade deadline is coming, and a team that's won 20 of their last 24 games might be inclined to make a move to bolster the team. Like, as you're watching them, where do you see? I mean, I know it's maybe sounds insane. Like, why do you want to tinker with anything? Like, look at them. Where do you think they could use, a piece here or a piece there?
To me, tinkering is depth, and they can still get some depth for their top 9. I think they could really. I don't know where Danforth is at as far as if he's going to be able to get back and in what condition. He's an excellent face-off guy. They could really use a guy who can win a key draw for them. I know they won draws last night, but that's kind of out of the.
Yeah.
And even Norris was less than 50%, which is not good for him. He over his career has been a pretty good draw guy. So whether it's Danforth or somebody they bring in, they could really use somebody when they have to win a face-off, they can get it and keep the puck in the zone. They could maybe use a power play guy. Or that would go hand in hand with a top 6, somebody that you can, so you have some backup when you get injuries in your top 6. I don't think it would kill them to get a defenseman that they can use as a depth type of defenseman. It jump right in like Bryson and Metz have done. I think they both have done very credible jobs as the number 7 and 8 defensemen and had to play a lot. Because of injuries. So that's what I think I'd be looking for if I were them. Somebody maybe to help your power play, give you some depth on your top 6, or if you want to say top 9, and somebody that can maybe help you out with some faceoffs.
How do you feel about their goaltending moving forward? I mean, we know Luukkonen is not right. It's not thought to be long term, so that's good news. Hopefully, maybe he misses this run up to the Olympics and is back after that. Maybe for his sake, he can even go play in the Olympics. We'll see about that. But I wonder if you feel, because they're like something going wrong right now. There's something going wrong with Alex Lyon away from Colton Ellis and Devin Levi being their tandem, which is maybe a little scary.
Yeah, but the thing with Ellis is he's 7-4. I mean, some of the games that he hasn't played well and he's won. And, he's also had some good games along the way, too. But it just seems like somehow, like Toronto, he found a way to win. He didn't really – the goal he let in was not a good goal. He saw it the whole way. But by the time the third period rolled around, he made some big saves and made sure Toronto didn't inch back into that game, which I thought was key for him. I think Luukkonen and Lyon have been doing a great job alternating back and forth. I mean, Lyon's 10-0, Luukkonen 7-2-1. Going into that game that Luukkonen got hurt in, they both had save percentages above 720, which is insane.
920, you mean? Yeah.
I'm sorry, 920. Which is insane. I mean, a decent save percentage is, 905, 910. That's not a bad save
Especially
percentage.
now. Like, I feel like save percentages are down around the league because, like, shots are down around the league, so you're getting fewer opportunities to make saves. I mean, so goals are still going to go in. So anyway, I think we have to adjust what is a good save percentage even,
Yeah, Dominik Hasek, who, by the way, his documentary comes out today.
Mm-hmm.
They're having the viewing today. In his day, there were a lot of goalies that had 920 save percentage. If you didn't have a 920 save percentage, you probably weren't a very good goalie.
You weren't a number one. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, as you said, that's totally changed. And here are those two goaltenders for a good period of time. We're both 920 or over.
What did you think of last night, Paul? I walked in the door. We talked about it on pregame. I walked in the door and said to Owen, this is a tough game tonight. I don't care what this team's record is, their style of play. This is going to be a kind of a grind of a game here, and I'm curious to see how it goes. And I don't know. It wasn't. I don't want to say it was easy, but it was never not their game, I think.
And that's because they did what Lindy Ruff talked about in the pregame, but they did it early. They popped a few goals in. That takes LA out of their system then. It just, I remember a couple of years ago where the Sabres were 0-0 going into the third period, did a great job of being very patient, and then scored a goal or two early in the third period and won 4-0 because they pulled LA out of their structure. And that's exactly what the Sabres did early. Los Angeles did not get goaltending on the Samuelsson goal, and the other one was tipped. It went in off, it was Doan putting it in off Ceci. Again, Benson going to the net. He's trying to pass to Benson, has a guy with him, it hits a player and goes in. I mean, that's the way they've been scoring goals lately, earning their breaks. And they got another one against the Kings, and there they are sitting there at 2-0 in the first period. And now the Kings did pretty well, actually, out of their structure. They had 18 shots in the second period. Lindy didn't like the second period. He felt they were feeding them and feeding their transition because they were getting too cute. And I thought to myself, he's right. I was thinking back to how many 3-on-2s did they defer? You're trying to pass to covered guys. He said we were too busy going east-west, trying to make a pretty play instead of being direct and north-south. And once they got in the third period, he goes, that's what we did. He goes, there was no troubles. There was no handing the puck over. If they didn't have anything at the blue line, they put it in deep, put it below the goal line, went and forechecked. And made it a very uneventful period. I had two notes on my paper in the third period. That's how uneventful it was. It was, but that's exactly what they wanted, and that's kind of been their formula for a while now. Play a kind of not great second period, then come out and hunker it down in the third.
All right, Paul. Thanks a lot for fitting us in early today.
Yeah,
enjoy tomorrow, Montreal, and then Florida Monday, Tampa Tuesday. Should be a fun little run.
Let's see. It snowed for me in North Carolina. Now I get to go to Florida, and it's going to be in the 20s. Lovely.
I don't want to hear your complaining, Hamilton. Nobody
The
does.
20s. The
You're,
20s.
you're following the best team in the NHL, Paul.
The
Just
20s.
just live with it. All right. Thanks again for this, Paul. Have a great weekend.
Take care.
That's our dude, Paul Hamilton, on the West Her Hotline. His